guys, welcome to another video. Today I am in DayZ 1.14 and we're going to be doing a tips video, 15 looting tips. Now some of the things have stayed the same and I will highlight those because they are good looting points, but also there have been some changes with 1.14 which I will talk about as we get into the tips. Let's get started. Tip 1. Now, I've covered this one before, but it's worth saying again that probably one of the most efficient places to loot in a town is at these brown doors that have the one kitchen room at the front. I haven't been in these yet. Let's have a look in these. We've got water, a top, and usually there's another item down here. Let's have a look at the one along here. They are quick. You go in, you're done. Got some boots, often there's some ammo, there's food over here. Usually 3 items or 2 items of loot in a very small space. It's very quick, you're just running past it, and in that respect these are, I find, one of the best places to stop over in a town rather than having to go upstairs and mess around with stuff. Tip 2. So there have been some very specific changes to the loot in 1.14. This shop in Cherno, on the outskirts of Cherno, towards Balota Way, has been nerfed, unfortunately. It used to spawn medical supplies and they used to sort of spread out into the buildings around. There's none in here now. It's back to what it should be, really, just standard shop stuff with food. Tip 3. With all the new updates to 1.14, we have the contaminated zones. How are you going to get yourself a hazmat suit? Well, in hospitals, what I've been finding is that parts of the hazmat suit are spawning. So we have the NBC boots here, and I found the NBC hood as well. So very important for successful traversing contaminated areas. So 2 pieces have been found here, definitely worth checking out hospitals. Tip 4. Just killed a whole load of infected, and one thing I have noticed is there is a little bit less loot in infected than before. There's some ammo there. Generally, I don't know, I'm finding less loot in 1.14. Tip 5. There is something in that car there which is very surprising. There is a gun cleaning kit here. Now, I have never seen these spawn in cars before. I don't know whether it's specific to these broken down models, but for me that is a clear indicator that there is some better loot in cars in this update. Especially, I mean, gun cleaning kits are very valuable, and to see that piece of loot spawning here is a really good sign. So keep an eye out for loot in cars. I think here you can see this definitely emphasizes that searching cars is now a more viable thing. So you've got a Makarov magazine here just tucked inside that car. Toilets are still throwing up some interesting loot. I found ammo, a compass, I found can openers, other bits of useful equipment. In this particular type of toilet, the military ones do not spawn any loot. Tip 7. Glasses take on a whole new meaning with this new update. We pick up these glasses and you can see the glare there. These sunglasses, put them on. Now the glare has gone. Now if you're sniping, this could be particularly handy, or if you're travelling in a particular direction, So keep an eye out for sunglasses. They do have a different effect, and they're varying types, have different tints. But of course, this is going to be a bit of a disadvantage at night, so remember to take them off. Tip 8. Without doubt, the most common form of gun in game with the recent update would appear to be the BK-133. Not the Makarov. I haven't found very many of those, but what I have found is 2 or 3 shotguns in every police station that I've been in. One I found 3 in. I've already found 2 in this one. I haven't even checked all the floors yet. Glocks are very common as well, but it does put a different emphasis on the usage of ammo, and shotgun shells, well, they're probably a bit more valuable now because you can actually get hold of guns to fire them, as well as an 9mm for your Glocks. So just bear that in mind. Tip 9. Now, I have featured this tip before, probably a couple of times, but I have noticed an actual improvement in its spawning rates. So these are the scaffolding next to the police station in Electro, and I am noticing weapons spawning more on this ledge here. You can see there's a pistol and a suppressor here, and I have seen a shotgun spawning here as well, this little kind of ledge. So it's easy enough checking the main ledges, these up here and that over there, which is usually pretty good, but also don't forget to look at this ledge here, and some handy stuff there. Tip 10. I've been searching wagons and carriages for trains, and I definitely think there is an improvement in the loot that we're getting in trains, just generally. I mean, these aren't near anything. There was 2 buckshots there. I just think that they are improving, and I would suggest it's definitely worth looking quickly in trains, because you can kind of go sideways and check it. There's more ammo in there. Look, you see that? Difficult to spot. Tip 11. Okay, I think one of the coolest things in game, and there's a bit of nostalgia involved with this one, is currently in these deer towers, these lookout towers, the hunting towers, whatever you want to call them, you can find hunter's backpacks spawning. You can see hunter backpack. They're very cool, 63, really low profile, so they're not massive like some of the military ones, and they're green, so the camouflage is great. So they do spawn at these towers, these deer towers, so I think that's really cool. Tip 12. These little tombs, monuments, church buildings, whatever you want to call them, they are pretty good for loot. What I tend to find is there's 3 different types of loot inside, so they've probably got 3 different specific spawning spots. Whether those actually spawn or not is another question, but I usually find a piece of clothing, some food, and some ammo or a gun or something like that. So they are pretty good and easily overlooked. Little shrines. They're shrines, aren't they? That's what they are. Tip 13. When you're at a hospital, sometimes there are cars parked outside it. Now, with the recent changes to car spawning in 1.14, don't forget to check these as well. You can see there's some auto injectors in here. Check the boots as well. Another one there. These are easily overlooked and might have some valuable loot. So don't forget to check the cars outside hospitals and buildings now. Tip 14. there will come a time when you need to scavenge for apples, pears and plums. It's inevitable, really. The best way to do this is to find fruit trees which aren't in massive orchards. Often they are kind of individual trees, or maybe 2 or 3 trees in a back garden and not part of a bigger orchard. In fact, I've never found any fruit in any large orchards. You can see here, this is quite a small back garden. There's an apple here. Let's have a look over here. I kind of clock where I find them because they respawn in these zones, and usually there's 2 pieces of fruit. Scout round until you can see them. The pears really stand out. You can see here. Now, there's varying states that they appear in, so they can be rotten. Don't eat those ones. There's another rotten one. So you've got 2 here. You can have them dried and they're fine to eat, and then you can have them pristine. There's a plum. So you've got a dried one here. I'll take that. And in these sorts of areas you'll find them. And I also find that maybe towns that are more on the outskirts have them, where it has less impact on the loot economy. And yeah, just don't bother checking the large orchards, just a waste of time. Just these smaller areas. Tip 15. I have tried to loot Reefy a couple of times now. It's a really difficult spot to get into. There are a lot of zombies in this area here within the gas, and it really was incredibly difficult. I haven't been able to get into Reefy itself because there are so many of the infected wandering around here. There's no cover to protect yourself from them. So tip 15, I have to reluctantly say that I don't recommend looting any of the poison gas zones. It took me hours to get all the stuff together to get to this position, and then to actually be, in a sense, defeated at the last hurdle, well, the big hurdle, getting into Reefy. I just don't recommend it. Stay clear of these. I think you need a group to be able to do this successfully, and even then not everybody's be able to go in. Maybe having a sniper up on the ridge to shoot the infected, or to draw them away, maybe draw them out first. But if you're playing solo, it's really tricky. So guys, that's my 15 tips. I hope you found them useful and interesting. If you did, click that thumbs up. If you haven't subbed already, it'd be awesome if you could. There's more DayZ content coming, so keep watching, and I'll see you soon.